Hello students, welcome back. In our previous video we have seen some basic important terms related to acids, isn't it? Types of acid based on source, then what are concentrated and dilute acids and all. Okay, now here we have to study about some more terms in detail and the properties. Okay, so before we start that, there is one very important question that what do all acids have in common? Okay, the answer for this question I'll give you by this definition. Okay, so acids can also be defined as they are the substances which dissociate in water to produce hydrogen ion. Okay, now what does dissociate mean? Dissociate means split up. Okay, dissociate means to split up. Fine, टूट जाना. Okay, so when you add acid in water, they will have the tendency to dissociate or split up to give what? H plus ion. हम उनको proton भी कह सकते हैं. H plus ions देते हैं. Okay, so let us see the examples for that. See, we have HCl. Now aqueous, when I am writing AQ का मतलब होता है यहाँ पे AQ means aqueous means water में solution इसका, ठीक है. So in HCl it will have the tendency to dissociate to give H plus and Cl minus ion, ठीक है. तो ये H plus दे रहा है. Let us take another acid, H2SO4. आप H2SO4 लेते हो तो H2SO4 भी क्या देगा? H plus, पर यहाँ पे 2 है तो हम यहाँ पे 2H plus लिख रहे हैं. ओके, AQ का मतलब है एक्वेस सॉल्यूशन में और SO4 2 माइनस, ठीक है, सल्फेट आयन. सबको ये आयन्स पता है, तुमने 9th में पढ़ा है. देन नेक्स्ट वन इज HNO3, नाइट्रिक एसिड. आप नाइट्रिक एसिड को भी ले लीजिए. नाइट्रिक एसिड भी क्या देगा? H plus. Okay, along with NO3 minus, nitrate ion. Okay, you can take any acid. Okay, मैं acetic acid ले लेती हूँ, CH3COOH. Okay, CH3COOH भी क्या देता है? H plus. Okay, and CH3CO minus. CH3CO minus को हम क्या बोलते हैं? What it is known as acetate ion. So you can see some common thing in the dissociation pattern of each one. Fine, what is the common thing? Each acid is producing H plus, that is a proton, and that is what it is told. What do all acids have in common? So the common property of all the acid is that when you dissociate them or when you add them in water, they have the tendency to dissociate and produce H plus ions, that is hydrogen ions. Now see, another important question is that whether all substances which contain hydrogen are acids. Okay, so it is not necessary, it is being told, you have to note this point, it is not necessary that all substances containing hydrogen are acids. Okay, now I will prove you this. Okay, see, I have taken here 3 substances, HCl, H2SO4 and glucose, C6H12O6. You can see HCl and H2SO4, they consist of 1 and 2 hydrogen atoms, whereas glucose, C6H12O6, it consists of 12 hydrogen atoms. Okay, so is this glucose also an acid? No, glucose is not an acid. Fine, this glucose is not an acid, whereas HCl and H2SO4 are acids. Okay, though glucose consists of 12 hydrogen atoms, in spite of that, glucose is not an acid. Okay, let us prove this by an experiment. Fine, so let's see the experimental apparatus. This is an experimental setup to show that all substances which contain hydrogen are not acids. Okay, see, we have 2 beakers over here. The beakers in the beakers we have fit a rubber cork at the bottom, and in the rubber cork 2 iron nails are being fit. Then these iron nails are connected to battery. Okay, one of the iron nail is connected to positive terminal of the battery and another iron nail is connected to negative part of the battery, and you can see in the circuit a bulb is also being connected. Now in the first beaker we have taken hydrochloric acid solution, okay, and in the second one glucose solution, because always remember that electricity can conduct, or H plus ion will form only in the aqueous medium, that is in presence of water. So when hydrochloric acid solution is taken in the beaker, it was observed that the bulb glows. Okay, why? Because hydrochloric acid HCl, it gets dissociated to give H plus and Cl minus, and hence these ions are H plus and Cl minus ions are responsible for the conduction of electricity. Okay, whereas in glucose solution it was observed with the same experimental setup that the bulb does not glow. Why the bulb does not glow? Because glucose solution, though it had 12 hydrogen atoms, it does not dissociate into its corresponding ions, that is, it does not give H plus ions, and therefore the bulb does not glow, no electricity is being conducted. Hence we can and we studied just now that acids can be defined as those substances which have the tendency or which dissociate to give H plus ion. So as glucose solution is not dissociating to give H plus ion, therefore glucose is not an acid, whereas hydrochloric acid HCl is an acid. So I hope you are clear with it, with the experiment, that those substances which produce H plus ions, that is hydrogen ions, on dissociation in water are only said to be acids. Okay, but if they consist of hydrogen atom and they are not producing H plus ion, they are not acids, and hence therefore this glucose, though it consists of hydrogen atom, then also it is not an acid, but HCl and H2SO4, as they can dissolve and dissociate into H plus ions, they are regarded as acids. Fine. Now the next question arises is, do acids show acidic behavior in absence of water? Explain. Okay, so let us understand this by an experiment. I have taken here 2 test tubes. Okay, you can see 2 test tubes I have drawn over here. Now in both the test tubes, same things I have taken, same reactants, that is NaCl and concentrated H2SO4, sodium chloride and concentrated sulfuric acid. When these react, what do they produce? They produce HCl, okay, and HCl is in form of gas, okay, plus sodium sulfate, fine, Na2SO4, okay, that is the byproduct. Oh, fine. Now you can see both the test tubes are corked up by a rubber cork, and in the rubber cork a glass tube is inserted so that HCl gas can come out from it, fine. Now you can see here a blue litmus is placed in front of the glass tube on both the sides here, on both the tubes. Okay, both the tubes, a blue litmus is placed in front of the glass tube. Fine. Now when the reaction will occur, HCl gas will be produced, which is in dry form. This HCl gas will come in contact with blue litmus, which is dry over here. Dry blue litmus is present in this first case. Okay? Case 1, what we have taken, it is a dry blue litmus. Fine. Case 1, it is a dry blue litmus. Okay. Case 2, it is a moist blue litmus paper over here. Case 2, what it is? It is a moist blue litmus paper over here. Now what happens? As the HCl gas comes in contact with dry blue litmus paper, there will be no change occurring. That is the important point. When HCl gas comes in contact with dry blue litmus paper, no change will occur over here. Whereas when HCl gas will come in contact with moist blue litmus paper, the blue litmus paper will turn into red, as we have seen in the first video of indicators. Okay, blue litmus changes into red in presence of an acid. So by this experiment, you can say that the acids will show acidic behavior only in presence of water and not in dry condition. And what is the reason for it? The reason is that in presence of water, H plus ions will be formed, which are responsible for the acidic behavior of an acid. Okay, fine. So I hope you are clear with all these experiments. 2 questions will be given in the description box. You have to answer these questions and send it to me. Okay, and go through the videos nicely. Stay tuned for the next video, okay, which will be about the properties of the acids in detail.